Alright, ordered pairs and relations. Here's the deal, you guys. You are going to do a lot of graphing this year. A lot of graphing on coordinate planes. Maybe not so much now, but at the end of the year, you're going to do a lot of graphing. So we have to know how to graph. If we don't know how to graph, you're going to get a lot of answers wrong sometimes. So we're going to practice graphing today. So I have a lot of vocab in the beginning, short vocabulary, and then we'll do some practice here. So coordinate system, formed by horizontal and vertical number lines. And we're going to remind ourselves how to make a coordinate plane again, because I have people that don't put the right numbers in places. I have people that skip lines. So we're going to go over also how to create a coordinate plane again. Okay? Yeah, you're on the right track. Landon, you taking some notes with me, please? Thank you. The hardest part of this for people is not plotting points, but it's finding the coordinates of a point. That's sometimes the hardest part that you'll have today. So we're going to do a lot of points today. We're going to plot points. We're going to take points off a plane. So just things you've done before. Anybody still need this slide? All right, so this is where we're going to start creating our coordinate plane. All right, so X coordinate is how far left or right you go. Y coordinate is how far up and down you go. But before we even talk about that, let's make our plane on a piece of paper. So take one of your sheets and let's create it together. You all remember how to do this. You can find the middle of it or close to the middle. It doesn't have to be perfect. And you're going to do it right on the lines. You're not going to go in between. Your lines are there to help you, and that's what we're going to put our numbers on and our lines on. Nothing in between. Once you get your lines drawn, make sure you get X on this one and Y on this one. So you know which one is which. So now the numbers. Do not skip lines unless you skip lines through the whole thing, but just stay consistent, all right? So I'm going to start this way first, and this would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You don't have to label the whole thing, but just a few. And then what other one is positive? You know what other one is positive? What other line? It's the up and down one. Yeah, so I'm going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I should make this a little bigger. I don't know if I can do that. That's okay. Oh, there we go. Okay. And then the other ways are going to be negative. So this is -1, -2, -3, -4, -5. Down is also negative, -1, -2, -3, -4, and you can just keep going with your numbers. So you create a coordinate plane. I'm going to have to use this line, though. I might have to use that line. So they got to be a little closer yet. What are we doing? We're not labeling anything. I don't see anything labeled on there yet. Good. Good, except for, you might actually have to use this line to plot points. So you might have to move that over a little bit. You might have to use this line to plot points on. So you might have to move over a little bit, okay? You're okay. You're okay. That's good. Yeah, you want to get them as close to that line as possible, because otherwise you might not have room to plot points. Yeah, that looks okay. But just know that you might have to use this line to plot points, so that's not a big deal. That's good. That's good. All right, so let's plot some points. Now this is where this part comes in. X is how, let's see. X, how far left or right, Y is up or down. So let's plot some points on here. So let's plot, I'm just going to make A, and we're going to make it 1, 4. So how am I going to plot this point on here? What am I going to do first? Anybody remember? Yeah. Not yet. I'm going to go this way first. Nevaeh? I'm going to over to 1. And then what? Up 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's where my first that's going to be. So you're going this way first, and then up and down. So let's do another one. Let's do like B, we'll make, and that's A. I'm just going to label it A. Let's do -2, -3. How would I plot this point? Aspen, over to -2, and then go down to -3. Good. That's where my B would be. B would be. Okay. Let's plot this one. Let's plot C, and let's go -5, 2. Aiden. Yeah. Yeah. A lot of people think like, oh, I need to plot a point where this one is and this one is. That's not true. You're only plotting the second time. So you're going to go over to -5, up to 2. It's kind of like Battleship. You ever play Battleship? C3. That's exactly how it's going to be. Exactly. What? This is easy too. All right, let's do one more. Let's do D, and let's do 4, -1. 4, -1. What do you think? Somebody I haven't heard from yet. Gabe. Got to go this way first, remember? And then what? Yep, so it's going to be right here, kind of on my number. Yep. That's where it's going to go. Easy? Yeah. The biggest thing people get mixed up is, which way do I go first? Do I go up and down, or do I go across? It's always bottom first. And I think Mrs. Schneider taught you, like, the plane taking off. Like, so you do the bottom, then you go up, or the bottom, and then you go up that way. So that's a good way to think about it, too. It's a good way. I know you didn't get taught that, but you just did, so you just did. Okay, something else you need to know, and you can put this either in your notebook or if you want to kind of label it on your thing that we just did, is quadrants. Okay, so the coordinate plane is split into 4 different quadrants. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and it goes counterclockwise, the opposite of a clock. And you might be wondering what these things mean, and I'll tell you kind of after we're done writing, I'll let you know. So these things, they're not emojis. They kind of look like emojis, though. Okay, they're not. It's not. That's not like the winky face or anything. What? What do they mean? Okay, so it just if you by looking at a point, you can tell what quadrant it's going to be in. So like if both of them are positive, it's going to end up in this quadrant. If the first one and the first one's negative and the second one's positive, it's going to end up in this quadrant. You can just tell by what what the signs are, what quadrant it's going to end up in. So if you're not sure if you plotted something correctly, that's a good way to figure out if you plotted it correctly. Oh, if it's a negative and a positive, well, if it's negative and a positive, it's going to be here. So that's just a good way to tell what quadrant it's going to be in. Alright, so we kind of did this already, but there's a few that I want to talk about on here. And the one that I want to talk about for sure is this one right here. The ones with the zeros are the hardest ones to plot, and I don't know why. They are the hardest ones to plot. People get confused about them. What's that? Yeah, they're usually just on a line, but some people don't know. It just is confusing. Which way do I go, up or down? Okay, just like you normally do it. So if it's -5, you're going to end up here, and guess what? That's it. It doesn't go up this way. Like if I have one that looks like this, 0, if it's 0 first, I'm going to stay, and then I'm going to go up 2 and plot my point. I'm not kidding. The zeros are the hardest ones to plot. I don't know why. People get confused of which way they need to go first. Okay? So careful when you have a 0. Alright, next thing that they're going to have you do in your homework today is they're going to actually give something to you, this to you, and you have to tell what the coordinates are. Okay? Can everybody kind of see what I got going on up here? Do I need to make it bigger for anybody? So if I look at A, what are my coordinates for point A, Larissa? -4, -4. Nice work. What's my coordinates for B? Ashton. -2, 0. Good job. What about C, Gabe? Yeah, nice job. Let's do D down here. What's D? Aiden. 3, -2. And E, oh, I should maybe do this for you. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Does that help? What's E? Larissa? 8, 3. Okay? Anybody have questions on how to do this part? Should be just a review. Just a review. Alright, this is probably the newest thing to you, though. This is the one new thing today, and it's called domain and range. Domain and range. And a relation. A relation is your set of ordered pairs. Domain and range are domain's a set of x coordinates, and range is a set of y coordinates. I don't think we did this last year. So domain is here, 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 here. They're going to ask you to name all the domains and all the ranges today. Domains are always x, range is y, and I always have people ask me, which is the domain and which is the range? Well, if you just think about it, what usually comes first? X comes first, domain comes first. Domains are x, the first ones, y's are the second. Ranges are the second. So if I asked you what the domains are, you would say 1, 2, 3, 4. And if I asked what the ranges are, you would say 2, 4, 0, and 3. Ashton. Yes. 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 What they're going to ask you is they're going to ask you, can I change I'm going to say change the station, but I can change this. They're going to ask you to make a table and determine the domain and ranges. Very simple. Let me show you how to make the table. Here's your table. These are the x's, these are the y's. Domain, range. So then you take your first point and you say, okay, 0, 0. Second point, 1, 4. 5, 8. You just made a table of domains and ranges. Very simple. Make sure you have this in your notebook because there's going to come up, whether it's on a semester test or your test that's coming up, they say make a table, and I can't tell you how many times people say, well, how do you make a table again? It's literally the easiest thing, so get it in your notebook. Yeah. Always. Always. So So get it in your notebook. Get an example in. Or you can make a table like this. If you'd rather do it like this, you can do x, y, and do 0, 0, and 1, 4, and 5, 8. I don't care what you want to do. Up to you. I don't care how you make your table. I think this is just the easiest way. But if it says determine the domain and range, you have to label it. Just don't automatically, I'm going to assume that you know that x is domain and y is range. You have to label it. That's why I put it up here. So please label it. And that is it. That is all she wrote for today.